This is that day we're probably about 40-45 miles offshore. We've been doing some inshore fishing, a little bit closer, not really inshore, but we're about 30 miles off. Decided to go out the extra 10-15 miles out, head out, run a storm. Some nice springs here on the bottom, freshwater springs coming up from the bottom. A whole lot of grouper, snapper. The hurricane just blown through probably about a week earlier. And when the hurricane blew through, it actually blew in a bunch of true American red snappers, yellowtail snapper. Some guys out here have been getting some lane snapper, mutton snapper and stuff, which usually we don't see this time of year. Right here, this is the first week of July, and you really don't see a lot of that this time of year, so we figured we'd go out and get some on film. What we're doing here is just getting some basic cut bait. We're using Spanish sardines, threadfin herring. We're just going to put them right in the bottom using traditional bottom fishing gear here. You can see we're using a Penn Senator 4-rod and like a heavy action bottom fishing rod. About 50-pound test line. And what a lot of people don't realize is, with kayaks and stuff, you can actually, do the bottom fishing. People think that's specifically for like big boats and stuff, and in a kayak you'll get pulled out or, towed to the bottom by a good fish, or, they think it's just impossible to muscle them off the bottom, but it's really not. So we really wanted to get this part in the video. Two remoras, following the kayak away from the boat. Usually you see them with a lot of sharks in the water, usually following sharks, but we didn't see any sharks this day, but they were around all day and kept taking my bait off the hooks, so to keep rebaiting and dropping. The big thing with kayak fishing, especially with this pedal drive kayak, is you have to make sure that you keep your bait real still on the bottom, because if that weight bounces on the bottom, the big groupers, the big snappers and stuff won't come in and take your bait. You'll get a lot of small stuff, which are, juvenile fish, not as experienced. They'll come in and take the bait and you won't get the big ones. So with the Hobie pedal drive system here, you can actually hands free without using your paddle, keep your weights real still on the bottom, keep your position, and hopefully get a bigger fish. As you can see here, just keeping it right there, just waiting for that strike, which really isn't that long. The spring we were fishing here was really loaded with fish that day. You see the pedal drive system in action beneath the boat there. Once again, just changing it around, trying to keep it real still on the bottom. And right here, I believe right here we got a pretty decent hookup. You can see that rod tip just drop right into the water. Should be right in here. That's typical with bottom fishing. You just get that real hard strike and they head right for that bottom. What they're trying to do is they're trying to hang you up in the rocks or in their holes back on the bottom.
Lost it that time, didn't you?
Yeah, lost the fish. Didn't get a real good hook set there. What you gotta be careful with, like when you're topwater fishing or inshore fishing, people have a tendency to rip that rod up, and you really can't do that here. You gotta reel down to them, get all that slack back. And just as that happened, Chris on the boat actually noticed a school of big bottlenose dolphins, cruising by, and here we see them come right up to the kayak. You can't really see it in the film here, but they actually come right up to the boat and touch it there, and they disappear down deep.
Yeah, they vanished. They vanished off camera.
That totally made the day right there. I mean, just seeing that alone was
that was
great.
awesome. Awesome.
But you never know what you're going to see out there, so.